This is the flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM and FM. Jacksonville Beach. 1010XL. Home sweet home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Brunell.
Hi, I'm Mark Brunell.
On the fade. Touchdown to Jimmy Smith.
You have found the best Jaguars coverage in Jacksonville on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Now, the window world of Northeast Florida fifth quarter on 1010XL. Presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings. Here are your hosts, Ryan the Hacker Green, Leon Searcy, and Coach Campo.
Dropping to throw. Rudolph looking. Fires toward the goal line. That ball is going to be knocked away and incomplete. Antonio Johnson knocked it away from Nick Westbrook-Akine, and the Jags are going to win the game and sweep the Tennessee Titans.
Frank Frangie on the call, Jaguars Radio, and with that, a very good Sunday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is the window world of Northeast Florida fifth quarter. We are presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings, live at the Hurricanes location in San Marco with the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy, the hacker Ryan Green with you, and the Jacksonville Jaguars get their fourth win of the year, their second win over the Tennessee Titans, a 20-13 victory today at Everbank Stadium. And, Leon, it's always good to beat Tennessee. It's always good to sweep Tennessee. There are ramifications that come with this win, and we'll talk about those. But I just think the home crowd kind of needed a victory to feel good going into the offseason. Yeah. We all expect change coming regardless of today's outcome. And for the people down at Everbank Stadium today, it was good to send them out with a win.
Oh, absolutely. Especially, you know what my motto is. I hate the Titans. I've hated the Titans for a very long time.
That went viral.
It went viral, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what this team did. I was never able to accomplish, Hack. I never swept the Titans.
Wow.
Never swept them.
Right.
Always either split with them or got swept by them. So, I mean, this team has done something that I've never ever done in my career. So I can appreciate the fact that this team, as bad as they've been all season, but they still swept the hated Titans. And, yeah, listen, I know everybody's concerned about the draft pick, and now we dropped from 3 to 6 as far as the pecking order goes, as far as the draft and everything. But listen, it's all about feel good. It's all about feel good, Hack. I know at some particular point, and I asked you this off the air, and I want your honest opinion and tell the people. At that given moment, when the Titans were driving inside the red zone,
yeah,
were you rooting? Where were you rooting, Hack?
Would it have bothered me if Antonio Johnson would have slipped and Westbrook-Akine caught that ball? No, it wouldn't have bothered me all that much.
You know what the sad thing about it is, Hack? At that particular point, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's bad, Leon.
But here's the thing, and I talked about this on Friday night on Hacker After Dark, is that they've won 4 home games before today the last 2 years.
True.
At Everbank Stadium. They only had 1 home win this year, only 3 home wins last year. The home crowd just needed to feel good, right?
Yeah.
Again, does it hurt your draft positioning a little bit? Yes, it does, and there's certainly some things we'll get into with that. But at the end of the day, you just need a victory, and the Jaguars gave the home crowd a victory today, which was nice to see.
They did, and I was at the game. I was actually at the game, and to see, because it was cold, it was rainy, people were wet, had ponchos on, all that kind of stuff. So they sat through it.
If you went to today's game, you are a die-hard.
Oh, yes.
Die hard.
Absolutely trooper. Now, I wasn't in the stands, so I was amongst the elitists.
Oh, you were with the higher-ups?
I was.
You were signing autographs, shaking hands, and kissing babies,
I absolutely was, but I still enjoyed the game. It was good to see the Jaguars win the game. They needed that win. The fans can appreciate it. The last home game of the season, they can appreciate them beating the Titans, so I was happy for them.
Phone lines are open, 641-1010. If you want to get involved in the fifth quarter with Leon Searcy and the hacker Ryan Green, you are more than welcome to do so. Coach Campo will rejoin us next week. He is still on a little holiday travel this week. Big story today, Brian Thomas Jr., 91 yards, a touchdown. In fact, Brian Thomas Jr., with his performance today, he now has well over 1,100 yards receiving. He has 10 touchdowns. How about this stat? I don't know if you saw this or not. 4th wide receiver in the Super Bowl era, rookie year, to have 1,100 yards and 10-plus touchdowns, joining Jamar Chase, Odell Beckham Jr., and Randy Moss.
That's good.
There's
company.
the only 3 guys to have 1,100 yards plus and 10 touchdowns plus their rookie year at wide receiver.
That's great company. I mean, he's exceeded my expectations. At the beginning of the season, I had him at 1,108. So, he's absolutely exceeded, and he's still got 1 game to go.
I'm not sure, Leon, if he's not a top 10 overall receiver in the league right now.
He could be. He should be. He's got to be one of the top 5 receivers in the AFC for sure.
Oh, there's no question.
Yeah, absolutely. So, he should be getting some Pro Bowl votes. Now, and I know we're on a bad team, but that's not the part. The part is the fact that this kid in his first year is playing some elite football, and he should be recognized for it.
Yeah, Brian Thomas Jr., and what I like about him, and there's so many things to like about him, but the main thing I like about him, he catches that touchdown over Jarvis Brownlee today, does the too short sign.
Oh,
he's got a little swag to him, man, a little moxie to him.
I love it. I love that. Absolutely. Listen, when you're out there competing and you get the best of somebody, it's not poor sportsmanship. They give it to you, you give it back to them. So I like that too. I like the little, too small. I like that gesture as well. He's from LSU. He comes from he's got a lineage of great wide receivers that have come before him. And I'm hoping that he's going to be the next one.
So, Brian Thomas Jr. is the story. Other story was Parker Washington. Great touchdown catch in the back of the end zone. It's interesting. The last 3 games have really bared this out. Brian Thomas Jr. gets all the press, right? Gets all the acclaim, and with good reason. And Parker Washington, very quietly, another really good game for the Jaguar wide receiver. That's a nice little 1-2 combo. And we'll see about Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram and obviously where things are going to fall this offseason and when we get into 2025. But BTJ, a rookie, Parker Washington, his second year, have picked up the slack in a big, big way for that pass-catching room.
Yeah, it's going to be about numbers, Hack. I'm sure the Jaguars are going to ask those 2 guys, those 2 veteran guys, they got the hometown discount. And if they don't want to take the hometown discount and play with the team, then more than likely the team's going to move from them. And then you got these young phenoms. You got the Parker Washington, you got the BTJ. Now, Strange, he kind of fell off today. I don't think he had any catches today.
No, it was quiet. He's had 2 quiet games in a row.
He's had 2 quiet games in a row, but he might be another variable as far as Evan Ingram goes. So, this is the reason when you're a bad team down the stretch, this is the reason why you play your young guys down the stretch. Because you got to make some personnel decisions moving forward, especially next year. So if these young guys step up and they're reliable enough to where you can move on from these big contracts, then it gives you the flexibility to go out there and maneuver and bring in other guys that we need help at this position or that position, at guard, at D tackle, as corner, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I'm good. At this point in the season, when the young guys get the reps, and then you make the determination if it's something you can build on in the future.
I thought Travis Etienne had a nice game today.
Yeah,
he could have had a really nice game if he didn't slip a couple of times.
Yeah, I thought he had a nice game too. He's going to be another one too. You're talking about the guy who's going to go in his last time, his last year of his contract. So you got to figure out what you're going to do with him as well. I really like Etienne. Maybe not so much this year. Not this week, but last week. Catching the ball out the backfield. He makes a lot of his plays out the backfield, catching the ball. So, him and Tank Bigsby, they're a nice little 1-2 punch.
Jaguar rushing attack today, 33 carries for 122 yards. Etienne was the leader. He only had 49, but he was the leader on 15 carries. Bigsby, 33. Mac Jones, 22. And then Brian Thomas, the end around for 18. But at the end of the day, you run the ball for 122 yards. You got to be pretty happy with the ground attack.
Yeah, especially against that defense. That defense, they still have Jeffrey Simmons in the middle of it. He's a guy that you've got to move. That whole defensive front, especially their front 4, they get after it pretty good. So offensive line, I don't think we blew anybody off the ball, but I think at least we had stalemates. We gave our guys, the running backs, the opportunity to hit the hole and make some plays. And against that formidable defense, even though the team is down, that defense has always been known for their front 4.
Joshua Hines-Allen, a good performance today, much better in the second half than the first half. Had the quarterback sack. There was about a 3-play stretch there where Hines-Allen was literally unblockable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was going up against the rookie. What was it?
J.C. Latham.
J.C. Latham from what? Alabama, right?
Yep.
He was beating him with the inside move. And most of the time when you got elite pass rushers, especially when you're the home team, they got to deal with crowd noise. Most of the time, guys have a tendency to overset, and that's what J.C. Latham was doing on a lot of those opportunities where the crowd was in it. He was using that to beat them inside, and he was tearing them a new one.
You mentioned Mac Jones. Again, this has kind of been an audition for him. I'd like to see Mac back here next year. Obviously, Mac has loftier goals, and we understand that. You know, you'll go what Sam Darnold's done in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get guys that have kind of had Baker Mayfield's another one, kind of a resurgence of their career. But Mac Jones today, 15 of 22, $174, 2 touchdowns, no picks, quarterback rating of over 122 in terrible weather conditions for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Mac Jones looked very, very good today.
Yeah, he looked very serviceable. I mean, the last couple of games, he turned the ball over 2 times. This time he took care of the football. This time he wasn't trying to force the issue. There was a lot of times where he just took off and ran, especially when they were in man coverage. He knew that the middle of the field was going to be open. So that was good that he took care of the football. That's all you really want to do as far as a backup quarterback goes. You don't want to be the reason why they lose the game, why you lose the game. And you want to take care of the football, move the ball methodically down the field, take your shots when you can. Don't make any unwarranted decisions. And then when you get an opportunity to run and get a first down, you go and do it. And that's what he did today.
Hurricane Grill and Wings is our location in San Marcos. 1615 Hendricks Avenue is the address for Hurricane Grill and Wings. Got the nachos over there. They smell absolutely delicious. We love Hurricanes. They're a big part of what we do here on the fifth quarter. Come on out and celebrate the Jaguars' 4th win of the year. With us, we'll be out at Hurricanes till about 8 o'clock tonight. Again, 1615 Hendricks Avenue, the Hurricane Grill and Wings here in the heart of San Marco. To the phone lines we go here on the opening segment, 641-1010 with Leon Searcy, the hacker Ryan Green with you. To the Garber Auto Mall phone line. Let's go to the south side. Let's get James in here on 1010XL to kick us off. James, how you doing?
Hey, guys. Great game. Awesome game. I told all my friends I don't care about draft picks. I just want to win, baby, and we did it. So I feel good about that. I don't care where we fall in the draft. We'll just do it right. But this might be a Leon question. It's a football question, okay? It's a great game. But I don't know if you noticed in the first half, the Titans had the ball. They were trying to snap it, and the center, it slipped out of his hand, and they called a false start instead of being a fumble. So if the center's trying to snap the ball, and it slips out of his hands, they just redo the play. It's not considered a fumble.
James, appreciate the phone call. Yeah, I thought that was odd, too.
That was odd as well.
I think it slipped out of his hand, and he almost kind of picked it up and tossed it back to the quarterback, which made it an illegal snap. I would have thought it would have been a lateral because they blew the play dead.
Yeah. I don't have an answer for that. I've seen it happen before, but I've seen it where it rolls back to the quarterback, where he slips out of the hand and rolls back to the quarterback. And most of the time, that's called a fumble, isn't it?
Yeah, it normally is. That's my understanding of it. As an offensive lineman, though, what's it like to play in a game like this with the weather like that?
It sucks.
I thought you would enjoy it, no?
It doesn't. I don't like to play in wetty, muddy weather.
Oh, okay.
Listen, I like to get dirty as a lineman.
But you were a physical, tough dude,
I am a physical, tough dude, but I didn't like playing in the mud and the mire. Your feet get stuck in the mud. It's hard to pick. You remember, you're already heavy as hell, okay? All right, so now you add on the variable of water and mud and dirt, so now it's hard to pick your feet up. I mean, if you're telling me that we're going to be passing the game 70% of the time, I absolutely hate it. But if you tell me we're going to run the vast majority of the time, then any offensive lineman wants that. If we're going to run the ball, because then you get dirty, you get to push it, and you get to push the defensive guy, come off the ball, and that kind of stuff. So it just depends on where the offensive coordinator head is at.
See, my thing, too, is the fact that Brian Thomas Jr. had 7 grabs for 91 and a touchdown in those conditions makes it even more impressive.
Yeah. I mean, because, listen, wide receivers are known as divas. They are. They usually don't like this kind of weather, but he seems to flourish in it. And it's all a mental set. If you love the game, you're gonna go out there and play. You want to showcase your talent, and this kid loves the game. And you saw what he did today with 7 catches for 91 yards and a touchdown.
641-1010 is the phone number. Back to the phone lines we go. Let's go to St. Augustine. Let's get Travis in here on 1010XL. Travis, what do you got?
Hey, big dog. Duval, we still had to sneak in to get away from all the noise. We're down here partying at Everbank, baby.
I hear you. It sounds like you guys are partying, Travis.
Yeah. Mr. Leon Searcy, I don't remember if you remember when you put your book out, I called in and you got my wife hooked on football with your biography. I got it on book. But, man, hey, we were standing out there in the way that Brian Thomas was hyped up in the end zone before the game, and Matt Jones out there dancing. Hey, man, it felt like a whole different stadium. But I love y'all.
Hey, Travis, appreciate
it, Travis.
Hey, man, anytime you go to the love card on a Sunday night after the Jaguar win, you know Travis is enjoying himself.
That's what happens when you beat the hated Titans.
Yeah.
Son. There's love in the air.
And I think there is something to be said, too. I mean, they've won 4 games, 3 of which are against the AFC South. Mm-hmm. They play Indianapolis next week. And, again, I mean, you win the game, it might cost you a couple of draft picks. All right, but you have the opportunity to finish 4-2 in the division. You've already swept Tennessee. You could sweep Indianapolis. There would be something to that, correct?
Yeah, it would be a little bit something to it, but it would also be frustration. Because if you really think about it, if this team, this team is bad, but if this team was mediocre.
Yeah. But look at what happened with Houston on Christmas
That's what
Day.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
If this team was at least, let's just say this team was mediocre. Let's say this team right now is sitting at 7-8. You would still have a shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what's crazy about it. Everybody talks about how, the team came with all these lofty expectations. Everybody talked about the roster and how great it was and Trevor and all this kind of stuff. Those are lofty expectations coming to the season. But if this team was just average right now, we would have a shot to win the division.
Let me ask you this. Does the win today, in your opinion, affect anything about the futures of what's going to happen here?
No. I think what's going to happen is going to happen. I think that they're going to make changes at the top. I think at the GM position and at the coach's position. I don't think it changes anything.
And we'll see. Obviously, they got 1 game to go against Indianapolis next week. And then, as we all know, the dreaded Black Monday around the National Football League, where if any changes were to be made, you would anticipate that is when they would be made. Brian, Brett, Derek, Jonathan, all you guys, hang in there. You'll be up on the other side. It is the Window World of Northeast Florida 5th quarter. We're presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings. Again, live at Hurricanes in San Marco, 1615 Hendricks Avenue. Come on out and join us. The Jaguars, a winner today, 20-13 over the Tennessee Titans. Your phone calls next, 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
This is the flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, John, are you a small business owner looking to make the most of your investments?
Absolutely. And now is the time to take advantage of some incredible tax deductions.
You can qualify for a 2024 tax deduction for up to 60% of the purchase price of a brand new Cadillac.
Think Escalade, Lyriq, Optic, XT5, and XT6.
We have over 100 in stock at Rainy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville. It's the perfect time to upgrade your business fleet.
This is not tax advice. Consult with your tax advisor for further details and to determine eligibility, plus tax tag title $8.99 admin fee and resist all and approved credit.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey. Here in North Florida, you know that when temperatures go up and your AC goes out, you need help now. Like right now. Like lickety-split. So why not call Lickety Split and get same-day emergency service for your AC? Now, I bet you've seen their trucks all over town because they've got dozens of certified technicians ready to repair not only your AC, but your home's plumbing and electrical, too. So when you want it done right and you need it done right now, call Lickety Split, AC, plumbing, and electric.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called The Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
Hey, Jaguars fans, as the official whiskey of the NFL, it's not a kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why we've built the Crown Royal Rig. An absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more, and please drink responsibly.
Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish. And he's listening to the Nimnicht Outdoors Show.
With tips and stories.
Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Every Saturday morning, 7 to 10.
On 1010XL.
It's a force that can't be contained, propelled by purpose, pride, and the power to protect.
When winning isn't just the mission, it's your passion. You pursue it.
You make power plays.
Aim for fences and go for end zones. You believe that your moment is now.
At Farrah and Farrah, we deliver game day energy 24/7.
If you've been injured, put our force to work for you. Jacksonville.
While other books make promises, my bookie delivers. ET here at my bookie. And this holiday season, they're stacking the deck in your favor with 12 days of Christmas now through the 31st. A festive lineup of can't-miss opportunities for bettors to cash in. Risk-free Thursdays, super boosts, and free bets. Weekly casino giveaways with hundreds of winners and thousands of cash prizes. All it takes is a 50-cent spin on slots to enter. With the road to New Orleans, bowl games galore, and a Christmas Day Sports Fest featuring NFL action and an NBA doubleheader, this is your season to win. The 12 Days of Christmas event is live right now. Lock in today. Use my promo code 1010XL with your first deposit, and my bookie will give you a little extra to start your holiday hot. My bookie is offering a 50% deposit bonus for 1010XL listeners. Just sign up and use my promo code 1010XL. There's a reason my bookie has been the go-to for serious bettors for 10 years. Whether it's UFC, NFL, college ball, or the casino, you can bet and win with confidence. Make your holiday season a jolly one with my bookie. Come on, somebody.
Hey, Jacksonville Koozies. It's me, Soccer Sam, for Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizza is now open in Jacksonville, Florida, Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. Daily $10 deals. Dine in with beer and wine and delivery at salvatores.com. The famous Formoso family brings Salvatore's Pizza, Rochester's favorite pizza, including our 32-piece sheet pizza for your next event. Go with me, baby. Salvatores.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville, putting an extra 60 minutes on the clock. The window world of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter. Presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings on 1010XL.
Mack drops the throw. He's looking. Fires it to the left side. Corner of the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Brian Thomas Jr. for the score!
Frank Frangie on the call. Jaguars radio. Brian Thomas Jr. That was a terrific play. Gave Jarvis Brownlee the little, you're too short, man. You're too short. Every week here on the fifth quarter, we do give you an offensive player of the game. That offensive player of the game is brought to you by Universal Roof and Contracting. And RJ, let's do it now. The Universal Roof and Contracting offensive player of the game.
Universal Roof and Contracting presents the offensive player of the game. Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
No real surprise here, Leon. 7 grabs, 91 yards, and a touchdown. He had another carry on a reverse for 18 yards, over 100 yards from scrimmage. Brian Thomas Jr. is this week's offensive player of the game.
Absolutely deserves it. Not only offensive player of the game, bro. He's going to be the MVP of this team if they give him an award out. That's how electric this player has been. I mean, for this season right now, with Trevor being out, he's the face of the franchise.
Oh, there's no question.
Absolutely.
Now, let me ask you this. You've been around a lot of rookies in your day, 11 years in the league. How hard is it for, position by position, it might be easier at some positions to come in and make a big impact.
Yeah.
How hard is it for rookie wide receivers to come in and do what Brian Thomas Jr. has done?
Well, it's hard. It's hard for any rookie to come and have the kind of impact that he has, that he's having on the team. I mean, because first and foremost, timing is important between you and the quarterback. So that's why a lot of quarterbacks with rookie wide receivers, they spend time with him in the offseason to work on the time and the different routes and all that kind of thing. He's got to be able to find, he has to be able to beat man coverage. I mean, man coverage in college and man coverage in the NFL is two different stories, all right? Because the guys are there more physical, faster, know how to flip their hips and how to contort their body to make sure you can't get off the jam. And then he's got to find pockets in the zone, right? Because they play man zone, so he's got to find pockets. He's got to be able to run the route tree. He's got to be able to run every variation of the route tree, not just not just the 9 routes. He's got to run all the other routes. So yeah, I mean it's hard for wide receivers to come any positions, especially wide receivers to come in and have the kind of impact that he's been having.
Again, live from Hurricane Grill and Wings in San Marcos, 1615 Hendricks Avenue, the fifth quarter, Leon Searcy and the hacker Ryan Green. Back to the phone lines we go. It's 641-1010. Let's head to Ponte Vedra. Let's get Brian in here on 1010XL. Brian, what do you got?
Hey, guys. How you doing? Love you. Hack and Leon, you guys do a great job. I just wanted to say I'm a little nervous about the decision-making process after the win. Hopefully, Bulky will be fired. What do you think about what do you think about Peterson sticking around a little bit? I don't know what to do about that. I'm a little up in the air.
Brian, thank you for the phone call. I've always thought this. I thought there was a decent chance Bulky was going to remain and Peterson was going to be gone. I thought there was a decent chance Bulky and Peterson were gone. The one thing that I just can't see happening is that Bulky's gone and Peterson remains. That is the one. I like Doug Peterson. I don't think he's a bad coach. There's only very few human beings on this planet that have a Super Bowl trophy as an NFL head coach, right? I just don't think it has worked here because he's 22-28 in 50 games as the Jacksonville Jaguar head coach. Mm-hmm. They've lost, 17 of their last 23 games? 17 of the last 22, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, there are reasons why you would want to replace him.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's because he is a bad coach. I just think maybe a new voice needs to come into that locker room.
Well, see, this is what happened when we win ball games. The fans, they get, a little soft-hearted.
Oh, they feel good.
They feel good.
Guys, you beat a bad football team today.
You did.
That Titans team is hot garbage.
They are. They're terrible. Absolutely. They are terrible. But you got to ask yourself this, too, now, and I'm for both of them having to be out of here. But ask yourself, when was the last time this franchise had back-to-back winning seasons? Been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And don't get me wrong, the 9-8 and 9-8 is nothing to, nothing to have a parade about. But one got you to the playoffs and one got you out of the play. But there are two winning seasons. They're back-to-back winning seasons. The last time this franchise probably did that is probably had to be about 20 years ago.
Again, my retort to that would be, you hired Doug Peterson to improve this Jaguar offense. He is an offensive guy. He brings in Press Taylor. They are the offensive guys that Shad Khan went out to fine-tune Trevor Lawrence and this offense. The offense in 2022, year one when they were here, compared to when all the guys were healthy now in 2024, it has regressed. It is not any better.
Trevor has regressed, too.
The offensive gurus that you brought in have not made this offense take that leap forward when everybody's healthy.
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. I think Trevor has a lot to do with that. Trevor, play calling, execution, all different variables. But Trevor just got 275. He's the face of the franchise. Him not performing well, him getting injured, all that factors in to his firing, ultimately, to his demise. So he should get. You can't go. What, last 20 games? What's the record, Hack? They've
lost 5 out of 6 last year. So they were 1-5 coming in, 4-12 now. So they're 5-17.
Yeah. I mean, anywhere else you get fired.
5-17 in the last 22. Let's go to the west side. Let's get Derek in here on the fifth quarter on 1010XL. Derek, what's going on?
How you doing, man?
Derek, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
go
can
ahead.
hear you.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is what I want to talk about. How y'all doing, Hacker? How you doing, Leon?
Doing good.
Buddy.
Hey, this is what I want to talk about, man. This draft, man, is very important. We got Brian Thomas, man, and I just think about the weapons in the draft. The only thing I can see the Jaguars going after is the cornerback from Michigan and the running back for Boise, because ATN and they're not getting it done, man. And you need to go out there in the second round and get you an offensive lineman that's going to bulldoze defensive tackle and get that running back from Boise State, man, and run that thing, because you can't let the weapons get off the board, man. Y'all have a good day.
Hey, Derek, appreciate it. I did the Duval rundown before I came up here to Hurricanes, Gus Logan and I, to recap the game, and he asked me that too. Genty, the running back from Boise State. And truthfully, I hadn't even really thought about that in the draft. What's your opinion on Etienne and Bigsby? Are they upgradable?
They're serviceable. I mean, Etienne has the ability to take it north, to take it north and south at any particular time. You give him a little daylight, he can take it to the house. But I haven't seen enough of that, Take Bigsby, I think he runs hard, he runs tough. Outside of the fumbles, the turnovers, and everything like that, I think he's a physical runner. I think that to go and get Ashton Gently, first of all, it's too high. I mean, his grade is more middle first.
You'd have to trade back.
You have to trade back, absolutely. I mean, we're going to be a top 10 pick, more than likely 6 or 7. I would think that would be too high to take someone like an Ashton Gently, who's got a more of a middle first round grade. I think that we should go either offensive line or defensive line.
Now, you say offensive line. Now, they extended Walker.
Yeah.
And you got Anton. But you think tackle could still be in play?
I think, in my opinion, tackle could still play because I've got a sample size of Walker a little, and he can't stay healthy. Right? You gave him a contract. You didn't give him an overwhelming contract. You gave him a swing tackle money. You gave him swing tackle. You gave him money like Ezra Cleveland.
Yeah.
You gave him that kind of money. He didn't get elite offensive line tackle money. I mean, anytime you can have good offensive linemen, on this team who still needs to, work on the run blocking and the pass protection, anytime you can upgrade any of those positions, I think you do it. I think the real issue is going to be the age in the middle, replacing those 3 guys who do pretty good in pass protection but struggle with the run game. So if you can find you a young phenom guard, maybe in the second round, third round, have them come in. Yeah, I like that.
The Jaguars have money in free agency.
Yeah,
they will have some money to spend. Let's go to the state of Alabama. Let's get Jonathan in here on the 5th quarter, live from Hurricanes in San Marco. Jonathan, go ahead.
Duval!
Jonathan, indeed.
Right.
How are you?
I'm good. I tell you what, though. I think we should still draft some defensive players when it comes to the draft. I thought Cam Little had a good day today. Mac did really well. Defense slammed the door when they had to, and we escaped with a victory. And as Leon would say, I hate the Titans.
Jonathan, appreciate it. And that adds to it, right? I mean, if this was a victory over the Cardinals or the Rams or something, but it was Tennessee, and it is always nice to stick it to Tennessee a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And you can hear from the fans at the end of the game. I mean, even amidst the cold weather and the rain and everything, they still felt good about beating the Titans.
And I'll tell you what's interesting, too, is I got a lot of Titans buddies. I don't say a lot. I got a few Titan buddies in the media in Nashville, and they were celebrating, getting a high draft pick because of this. That team needs a lot more than one player in Nashville. They are awful.
Well, I think they might have been celebrating because that loss maybe moves them up a little bit. They're going to go get another quarterback. I think Will Levis is a wash. The answer is not Rudolph. I know it's a holiday season, but
I almost think, I don't know if they're in the Shedeur Sanders or the Cam Ward sweepstakes as much as they might be Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins sweepstakes.
They could, absolutely. They could.
And you guys know that they thought they got one over on us with Calvin Ridley.
Well, yeah, and obviously. And Ridley had a fine game today, but the Jaguars...
We saved ourselves $70 million.
Need to thank them over and over and over again.
Oh, yes.
Because if Tennessee doesn't come in and get Calvin Ridley, the Jaguars don't draft Brian Thomas Jr.
That's true. That would have been a huge mistake.
Oh, it was just absolutely spectacular. I'll tell you what, RJ, let's call an audible on the fly. Let's go ahead and do the defensive player of the game. Every week here on the 5th quarter, we also give you a defensive player of the game that is brought to you by our friends at Superior Fence and Rail. And let's do that right now. The Superior Fence and Rail defensive player of the game.
Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
Now, there are a couple of honorable mentions that we could throw out there. Foye Oluokun led the team in tackles today. He was all over the place. I believe he was credited with 11 tackles altogether. So that certainly could have been a direction we went. But when Joshua Hines-Allen had about a 4 or 5 play stretch where he literally just took over the game and he got a quarterback sack, Joshua Hines-Allen is credited with 6 tackles total, 3 solo, 1 sack, and 2 tackles for loss. number 41 for the Jaguars, is this week's defensive player of the game.
And that's how you're supposed to play. That's how you're supposed to be disruptive. All right, you're supposed to be some kind of. You got to be a player where they got a game plan against you. All right, and they did not have an answer for him, especially late in the game. And then that rookie from Alabama, he took him to school.
J.C. Latham, yeah.
J.C. Latham absolutely took him to school.
Yeah, good win for the Jaguars. Yeah. Good win. And by the way, they play the Indianapolis Colts next week. I don't know if the NFL has officially come out and scheduled it yet, but that Colts loss today to the Giants means the Colts were eliminated from the playoffs. So that has no implications next week whatsoever. The Colts and the Jaguars has no playoff ramifications. So that's got to be a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah.
Because in Week 18, the NFL likes to put all the playoff games that mean anything in the 4 o'clock window. So because the Colts and the Jaguars now mean nothing as far as the playoffs go, you would anticipate a 1 o'clock kick next week up in Indianapolis. Corey, Steve, the rest of you guys, hang in there. We'll get to you on the Garber Auto Mall phone line coming back. Live from Hurricanes Grill and Wings in San Marcos, 1615 Hendricks Avenue. TVs everywhere. We got the 4 o'clock games on. They got a full bar, great food, wings, nachos, burgers, you name it. We love Hurricanes, and we love the fact that we're out here in the heart of San Marcos, 1615 Hendricks Avenue, Hurricane Grill and Wings. More to do with the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy, the hacker Ryan Green with you as the 5th quarter rolls on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars and Gators, pro, college, and high school sports.
Wow.
Get the most play-by-play on 1010XL, Jacksonville's play-by-play sports radio. Bull riding. The perfect fusion of strength, skill, and pure willpower. Professional bull riders aren't just athletes. They're daredevils with cowboy souls. Come experience the true modern West, where 8 seconds of glory will create a lifetime of memories. It's the Michelob Ultra PBR Jacksonville at ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, February 22nd and 23rd. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com and PBR.com. Hold on tight. The ride of your life is about to begin.
If you're tired of your fence looking like a bad hair day, well, it's time for a fence makeover with Superior Fence and Rail. They'll make your yard the talk of the town with a new fence installed by their expert team.
Your fence is fantastic.
My fence is giving all of my neighbors some serious pick and envy. Thanks, Superior Fence and Rail.
So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your fence installation project today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com. Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gates store anywhere around Duval and make yours a dandy. And do it today.
It's the end of the year sale with Universal Roof and Contracting. Get 15% off all roof repairs and replacements, plus a $250 gift card for holiday shopping. With financing options as low as $150 a month, protecting your home's never been easier. Schedule your free roof inspection today. Call 855-ROOF-HELP, and this offer expires December 31st. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Get more Gators on the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with new episodes every Friday. Subscribe and listen by searching for 1010XL's Gator Bites podcast wherever you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, why is it that when you look at how long a store has been in business, that it always seems to be the stores like Underwood's that sell fine quality that have been around the longest?
Frank, that's a question that really doesn't get asked a lot, but it should be. There are a number of reasons, but probably the biggest is because of the endorsements our longtime customers and their pieces of jewelry have given us through the years. You see, when you sell really fine quality jewelry, that piece will last longer and always stay beautiful. It might stay in the same family for generations, and through those years of wear, a lot of compliments will be made and a lot of people will be told where the piece of jewelry came from. You see, at a store like Underwood's, it's our stated goal to be the best jeweler in the South, not the biggest, so everything we do and carry has to help move us toward that goal. And ultimately, it's the satisfied customers wearing fine quality jewelry that have kept Underwood's in Jacksonville since 1928.
Underwood's in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of of Ponte Vedra.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Bringing you an extra quarter of football.
The window world of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter. Presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings on 1010XL.
From the 3-yard line, play fake. Mack drops the throw. Looking, fires back in the end zone. That's Parker Washington. Did he get both feet down? Yes, he did. Touchdown! Parker Washington in the back of the end zone for the score.
Frank Frangie, Jaguars Radio. That was a heck of a catch.
It was a hell of a
Parker
catch,
Washington.
absolutely.
You seen enough from him to say, all right, Christian Kirk?
No.
Yeah.
Nah, Chris. I mean, it's easy for us. When Christian Kirk was healthy, he was a difference maker.
I agree,
and he had a lot to do. And he was Trevor's crown jewel.
Now, knowing it's a dollars make sense league, though,
yeah, of course,
that's going to play a factor.
Absolutely. I mean, this is 2 years in a row he's been hurt, he's missed a lot of games.
Yes.
You know, so I mean, listen, Father Time is undefeated. Sometimes to catch up on you, the stuff that you were able to get over while you were young, trust me, I know because I've been through it. Stuff that you're usually able to get over with while you're younger and vibrant, get a little older, starts to wear on you a little bit more.
But the interesting thing, too, is remember the reports came out that if Kirk would not have gotten hurt, was that in the Green Bay game, there was some talk that he was going to be traded before the deadline.
I think it was to Atlanta, wasn't it?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, that's right. It was going to be Pittsburgh.
So, again, who knows if those reports are true or not, but that report was at least out there. So the fact that Kirk got hurt, maybe that saved him being here in Jacksonville. I don't know. That's going to be one of the interesting decisions this offseason because, again, Parker Washington is basically Christian Kirk's. He plays the same position, same type player. But regardless of what happens in the future, for the present, I really like what I've seen in a complimentary role out of Parker Washington, complimenting Brian Thomas Jr.
No, absolutely. Yeah, you want to see that in your young guys. And young guys make old guys expendable, especially if they play well. You know, so I mean that's what those guys do. A guy like a Parker Washington got the opportunity. It's unfortunate that Christian Kirk got hurt, but he went out there, he seized the moment. You know, he's making the plays, and just like Kirk, you know, when he was at Arizona, he did what he needed to do to get a contract. Now Parker Washington is in a position now to where he can flourish, and then maybe in a year or so he can ask for a new contract.
Let's talk about another young guy that's making plays for the Jaguars. Every week here on the fifth quarter, we give you a special teams player of the game. That special teams player of the game is brought to you by Crown Royal. RJ, let's do it now. The Crown Royal special teams player of the game.
Now, it's time to showcase the Crown Royal special teams player of the game. Live generously and life will treat you royally.
All right, Leon, I know what you normally think about kickers, but the Jaguars have one in Cam Little. 6th-round pick out of Arkansas. That guy is a very, very good kicker.
Hey, listen, kickers are my best friend, especially when you need them the most.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, he's having an outstanding season.
24 out of 26 his rookie year.
That's amazing.
Bad weather conditions today, nailed a couple through. I mean, Cam Little is everything the Jaguars would have hoped for. And again, you know, we talk about the Titans coming and taking Calvin Ridley and the Jaguars having to pivot to Brian Thomas Jr. Well, keep in mind, remember the Jaguars thought they had signed Will Lutz, the kicker from, was it Denver?
Denver, yeah.
And then he reneges on that and doesn't do that and wants to go back to Denver and whatever. So the Jaguars say, okay, well, let's draft a guy named Cam Little in round 6, and they're reaping the benefits.
Absolutely. Yeah. I remember the name because it was against your Gators.
Oh, Cam Little? Yeah.
That's where I remember him from.
Yeah, he had a kick in the swamp, no question about it. All right, 6'4", 110. You're a funny guy. Let's talk about the Pop-Tarts Bowl. You want to get into that from yesterday?
I threw a shot.
Yeah.
Listen, I threw a shot in because I knew yours was coming.
Hey, man. Hey, Gasparilla Bowl champions over here.
God bless you.
Hey, that's exactly right. 641-1010 is the phone number. Here it is, the Window World of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter. We are presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings. Speaking of Hurricane Grill and Wings, we're live in San Marco, 1615 Hendricks Avenue at the San Marco location for Hurricane Grill and Wings. Delicious food, friendly wait staff, televisions everywhere. We're actually out on the patio, which is right up against Hendricks Avenue. It is an absolutely fantastic location coming out to Hurricanes in San Marco. Let's head to Jacksonville Beach. Let's get Corey in here on the fifth quarter. Corey, what do you got?
Hey, y'all. Ryan and Leon, I appreciate y'all for keeping it positive, man. Sometimes you need that. But I just wanted to say that, golly, it's like we win when the pressure's off. You know what I mean? This team, it's tough, maybe because we're so young, but team, when the pressure's off, then we find a way to win, only to ruin ourselves, in the draft order. But I don't care about that. I was glad for a Jags win today, man. And I just want to see what y'all thought about.
All right, Corey, appreciate the phone call. All right, yeah. Look, they fell from 3 to 6 in the draft. They were 3 coming in. They're currently number 6, the way it stands right now. And you got to keep in mind, too, I don't know if the pressure was off. They beat a bad team today. The Jaguars were not going to beat a lot of NFL teams today, all right? The Jaguars just happened to be playing one of the very few NFL teams they could actually beat in Tennessee, and they won the game. I mean, if Jacksonville plays 27 other NFL teams today, they're probably not winning today. So It's the way the schedule fell, and enjoy it for what it is. You beat your rival. You're better than Tennessee. If nothing else, in this nightmare of a season, at least you can say you're better than Tennessee.
And the caller's name was Corey. I want to ask myself, why is the Jaguars – when they're playing with house money, it's easy when there's no pressure. We can go with last year. We can go back to last year when they 8-3, and then the Ravens came in here, a quality team. It seems for whatever reason, this team, when they play teams that are – about something, they fold their tents. But if they play a team like the Titans this late in the season with nothing on the line, they play well. Now, neither team this is the battle of 3 and 12s now. Let's not get it mixed up. But I want to know, why is that this team doesn't flourish against the good teams and the bad teams they beat?
Yeah, no, you're right, because I got an answer for you. They're not very good.
No, that's true.
That's basically where it is. This is not a very good team. And by the way, both teams were shells of what they were. Think about the Jaguars today. On defense, no Ventrell Miller, no Darnell Savage. Obviously, no Trevor Lawrence on offense, no Gabe Davis, no Christian Kirk, no Evan Ingram. You can go on and on and on and on. Tennessee, the same thing. They've long since traded DeAndre Hopkins. Tony Pollard wasn't out there. Will Levis has been benched. They traded Ernest Jones. These were injured, banged-up shells of what these teams thought they were going to be coming into the year.
And just 2 years ago, both of these teams were within the game for making the playoffs and winning the division.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. Yeah. And I'll tell you, for Tennessee, how bad it is. Ian Rappaport had to come out today and say they expect to keep Brian Callahan. There was legitimate talk he could be one and done. That's how mad they are in Nashville. And now that they're 3-13. They got a lot of problems in Nashville with the Titans. No question about that. All right, back to the phone line, 641-1010. Let's go to Melbourne. Let's get Steve in here on 1010XL. Steve, go ahead.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Doing well, buddy. How are you?
Doing great.
Trying to get over this flu bug I got. Heck, I'm like you. I got kids in daycare, and it's kind of like a big petri dish in there with all them kids.
Yes, it is.
But, no, I watched the game. I was at the bar today watching the game. I liked a lot what I said. Mac Jones can't throw near the sideline for nothing, but I saw a lot of good things from young guys. Mason Smith, I agree with. Leon, come on, man. You got to work on that sack celebration dance. You're just letting your belly jiggle. But and I also kind of think, when we get to the draft, it kind of stinks that some of the top positions that I feel is kind of interior defensive line, corner, and, Cisco's not getting another contract, so it would also be a safe.
Hey, Steve, appreciate the phone call, man. His phone was breaking up a little bit, but we kind of got the gist. If you're in the draft right now, again, we'll get more into the prospects as we get further along. But free agency will obviously be a telltale sign of what they're going to do, whoever they bring in here, if they bring in a new head coach and a GM. So obviously there's a lot of things to figure out. But that team you saw out there today, Leon, knowing the injured guys that are expected back, offensive tackle, interior defensive line, corner, are those your three biggest positions of need?
Yeah, not exactly in that order. I mean, however I have them, it doesn't matter. As long as I can see those three. So one of those three should be featured, either in free agency or in the draft. You know, interior offensive line, maybe tackle, defensive tackle, cornerback. I'm good.
I mean, Tyson Campbell's obviously your guy because you paid him.
Yeah.
Monteric Brown's been nice, but I think you could probably upgrade there.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, all right, Monteric Brown, Walker Little, that's your, right now, I guess your starting cornerback 2 and your left tackle. And then your interior D lineman, Eric Armstead, Devon Hamilton, right? I mean, you could certainly upgrade or get younger at all three spots.
Yeah, that's what I would look to do, either in free agency or in the draft.
Interior D-line, too. I mean, Mason Smith clearly playing better. Is that a situation, and you mentioned him earlier with the sack dance, at least he could do a dance because he got a sack, right?
True, facts.
3 sacks on the year. He's now past Roy Robertson-Harris, who hasn't been on the team in 10 weeks. Mason Smith now with his third sack of the year. I believe that puts him into third place on the Jaguar sack list behind Walker and Hines Allen. But, and I think I asked you this a week or two ago. I'll ask you again. Is it a situation where the light has come on for that second-round rookie? Does it just take a little bit of time for guys to kind of figure out what they're doing?
Yeah, it took a little time for, I think, that the organization to trust him. Because anytime you're a healthy scratch and you're a second-round pick, and this was maybe about, 5, 6, 7 weeks ago, where he was actually a healthy scratch, that means that the team doesn't trust you. It means that you're doing something professionally where the team doesn't feel comfortable enough to play you.
Mm-hmm.
And that starts with practice, film, in shape, all that kind of stuff. So I thought maybe in the middle of the season, when he was a healthy scratch, I said he's not doing something professionally to where they don't trust him on the field. So he's got to fix that. And it seems like it's a natural racing process. I mean, every player goes through the different metamorphoses, and then eventually they get out there and they become butterflies. And now he's a 320-pound butterfly. He's making plays, he's getting pressures, he's getting sacks. That's the kind of things you want to see from your second-round pick.
Jordan Jefferson, the other one, the other interior defensive lineman, had the tip with the Devin Lloyd interception today. Yeah. Again, it's even a smaller sample size, it seems, with Jefferson. He's been inactive for many, many games this year. Yet I would have loved to have seen him more, and I hope he plays next week. Hope he plays a lot next week. He's one of the guys I want to take a good, hard look at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You want to. This is the time of the year when your team is bad as they are. They're 4-12. You want to see your young guys and see how they perform down the stretch.
Let's go to the south side here on the fifth quarter on 1010XL. Let's go to Chris. Chris, you're on the fifth quarter. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing?
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Mm-hmm. Good, man. But I think overall, the upgrades, number one, that will kind of circulate through the whole chemistry of the team will be coaching. Because just looking at certain examples around the league, like just coaching fundamentals or just situational things that jump one team from losing one year to the winning the next. Like teams like the Commanders, upgrading offensive play calling, coaching, rookie quarterback potentially going into the playoffs. Bo Nix with Sean Payton coaching the right way, potentially winning record going to playoffs. Look at other teams. Kevin O'Connell, coaching. Teams like that, it has to come down to coaching. Jim Harbaugh with the Chargers, they didn't upgrade with a bunch of big names. They protected. They decided to protect Justin Herbert and improve the coaching. And I just think, like, sometimes the NFL catches up with certain coaches, and I think Doug Peterson is in that mix. So I just think that.
Chris, appreciate the phone call, and that's fair. I mean, look.
Yeah. Well,
Shad Khan went out and hired Doug Peterson, and remember, everybody wanted Byron Leftwich. The last coaching search we went through, everybody wanted Byron. I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people wanted Byron. And some people were upset that Doug got the job. Well, Doug was a Super Bowl winning coach. I mean, it's not every day that you can go out and bring in a guy that has a ring on his finger a Lombardi trophy that he raised in the air as a head coach of an NFL football team. So I think Shad Khan kind of swung on that one and look, obviously hit a home run in playoffs in year number 1. And then it just came crashing down with injuries last year, and it hasn't materialized here in year 3.
Well, here's the thing: it's not only coaching; it's got to be players too. You got to have the right leadership in the locker room. You got to have. I was sitting there. I was at the stadium today, and I was signing autographs next to James Stewart. And I asked James. I said, James, man, what's wrong with this team? Why they lose so much? He said, man, they don't have an identity. He said they don't have a culture. They don't have anything to believe in. And he said, when we were there, we created that culture. We created that identity. We knew what kind of team we were going to be on both sides of the ball. I say, as much as you can have the right coaching staff, if you don't have the proper leadership within the locker room, guys that can take charge, and guys can hold guys accountable, then you'll have a bunch of guys freelancing, doing their own things or whatever. But if you've got the proper leadership in that locker room, then y'all got a direction of what y'all going, what y'all want to be about. Do you want to be tough? You want to be physical? You want to be a mistake-free type of team? You got to have the right guys in place to create that culture of winning with the Jaguars. So I mean, as much as you want to talk about the coaching staff, yes, that's very important. But you got to take time to bring in the right players to the team, to how you want to be identified as a football team.
Well, then moving forward, and again, hearing James Stewart say that, then it has to be Trevor Lawrence and Joshua Hines-Allen. And those have to be the two guys.
Well, I mean, listen, sometimes we assess money with leadership, and it's not always the case.
Yeah, but aren't those your guys on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, I mean, just because you make the most money doesn't make you a leader. I mean, that's the presumption that they make the most money, so they got to be the leaders. It could be other guys on there that have the stature about themselves, but there's nobody on the team playing that good to where they can hold other guys accountable. So it would have to be Trevor and Allen because they got paid. But I've been on teams where there's superstars at different positions that can hold other players accountable because of their play. And I was fortunate enough to be on those type of teams when I was with the Steelers and with the Jaguars.
Let's go to Austin, Texas. Let's get Miles in here on 1010XL. Miles, what do you got?
What's up, fellas? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you, man.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, so thanks for taking my call. I was watching the 2017 postseason Pittsburgh game last night. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to keep the love alive with your team. One thing I noticed when I was watching was that we had 3 stud running backs that year. We had playoff Lenny, Yeldon when he could catch, and Grant when we would let that guy run, and my God, he could run, right? So hearing that guy said that we should get Genty, dude, I'm so down. I'm, so down. Guys, and you guys just said that very seldom do we have back-to-back winning seasons, let alone a playoff appearance at all. And we abandoned the running game in New England that year, and that's Nate Hack's fault. You know what I'm saying? And so I just feel like we made our bed with the trenches this year with the re-signs on the ends and the tackles, and I think that we should go for the run game this draft. Tell me what you think.
Hey, you know what? I'm getting, again, I was asked about that an hour and a half ago, and I thought it was preposterous, but it's kind of growing on me as the minutes go by. I want to give Trevor Lawrence a skill position player on offense.
Okay.
That's what I want. Whether that's another wide receiver to complement BTJ, whether that's Genty from Boise State. I mean, I think at this point, a skill position player on offense to help Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. Would you take a free agent guard?
Uh-huh.
A stud free agent guard.
To replace a right guard, I'm assuming, for Sheriff?
Yeah, yep. Sheriff. Okay, I could go with that. Give me a free agent stud because Sheriff's going to be – he's going to get the shipping papers.
Probably. And he's battled through – Brandon Sheriff is one of the toughest dudes you're ever going to find. That guy's been on the injury report every day, every week. I mean, he just
that's
battled.
What makes you tough to be on the injury report?
Look, I was on the injury report at JV at Wolfson, so I like to consider myself a little tough. But, I mean, that guy has today he was bleeding down his nose. He left with an arm injury. He just kept coming back in. I remember one time he got his knee rolled up on a couple weeks ago.
He's old Yeller, bro.
Well, I'm just saying.
Just go put him out of his misery.
I think Sheriff, again, you know my motto. If I don't notice you, you're playing well today. I'll tell you who I didn't notice today. I didn't notice Anton today. I didn't really notice Sheriff unless he was injured. So it means he wasn't committing penalties, he wasn't giving up sacks.
Yeah.
Mitch Moore sacked Mac Jones one play. That was interesting.
I saw him get bull rushed a couple of times. Yeah, I did.
So I did notice Mitch a little bit. You mentioned this guy a couple weeks ago. You know who I don't notice pretty much every week?
Ezra Cleveland.
Ezra Cleveland.
He's playing the best of all the offensive linemen right now.
Very quietly. He's just been a really decent player, right?
Solid. Absolutely. He has been definitely solid.
Well, we'll get into the play of the game. We'll get into a lot of things on the offensive side of the ball. We got to give some love to the defense, too. Albeit Tennessee did run the ball a little bit, but the defense stepped up when they needed to. We're live, Hurricane Grill and Wings in San Marcos, 1615 Hendricks Avenue is our location. We're with you for another hour plus here. Leon Searcy, the hacker, Ryan Green, Andrew Gibson, our on-site engineer. Phone lines open, 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone line. Jaguars 20, Tennessee 13 as the Jaguars sweep the Tennessee Titans this year. Your call's next. Fifth quarter, 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Huddle up at Hurricane Grill and Wings, where every day is game day. From their famous wings to refreshing new cocktails, serving up the flavors you crave. And score big with awesome happy hour deals. It's the perfect spot to catch all the football action while enjoying your food faves, cocktails, and beer. Don't miss out. Grab your friends and family and swing by Hurricane Grill and Wings and see what everyone's cheering about. Find the restaurant nearest you at hurricanewings.com.
When pests invade your space, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, we show up for you and eliminate pests quicker because we care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so do we. Don't live with a pest problem. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting.
While other books make promises, MyBookie delivers. This holiday season, they're stacking the deck in your favor with 12 days of Christmas. Now through the 31st, a festival lineup of can't-miss opportunities for bettors to cash in on. Risk-free Thursdays, super boosts, free bets, weekly casino giveaways with hundreds of winners and thousands in cash prizes. All it takes is a 50-cent spin on BetSoft slots to enter. With the road to New Orleans, bowl games galore, and a Christmas Day sports feast featuring NFL and an NBA doubleheader, this is your season to win. The 12 Days of Christmas event is live right now. Don't wait. Use promo code 1010XL with your first deposit, and MyBookie will give you a little extra start to your holiday. MyBookie is offering a 50% deposit bonus for 1010XL listeners just for signing up and using promo code 1010XL. There's a reason MyBookie has been the go-to for serious bettors for 10 years. Whether it's UFC, NFL, college ball, or casino, bet and win with confidence. Make your holiday season a jolly one with MyBookie.
Injured in an accident that's not your fault? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan at Von Rowan Law, and over the past 20 years, I have fought to recover millions for my clients throughout Jacksonville. If you've been injured in an accident, have mounting medical bills, can't work, don't worry. Zach's got your back. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve and will be there every step of the way. Go to Zach'sGotYourBack.com to set up your free consultation with me today. Zach'sGotYourBack.com.
He was the best back in Jacksonville.
It has to be Fred Taylor.
Fred Taylor joins Dan and Jeff on the drill Monday mornings at 8:30.
A tough guy.
Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins and Monahan Jewelers.
Bold City AC, heating that rules.
Is your AC ready for the holidays? Bold City Heating and Air ensures your AC stays in tip-top shape. We know that a clean AC is a healthy AC. Upgrade yours for just $96 a month and enjoy free duct cleanings with your new system. Plus, ask about our 0% financing options.
Bold City AC, we got the crew. Bold City AC.
Visit boldcityac.com.
This is the flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM and FM. Jacksonville Beach. 1010XL. Home sweet home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
For 79 years, each Gator Bowl game wrote a chapter in a story filled with excitement, celebrity, and a touch of drama. The game has seen iconic coaches like Bear Bryant, Vince Dooley, and of course, Bobby Bowden. Football stars like Larry Zonka, Archie and Peyton Manning, and Michael Vick. The 80th chapter features Duke and number 14 Ole Miss. Thursday, January 2nd in primetime on Bill Gay Grounds at Everbank Stadium. Tickets on sale now at TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is the window world of Northeast Florida 5th quarter. Presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings on 1010XL.
Mack drops the throw. He's looking. Fires it to the left side. Corner of the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Brian Thomas Jr. for the score!
Frank Frangie, Jaguars Radio. Brian Thomas Jr., his 10th touchdown of the year. If you missed this stat, Brian Thomas Jr. as a rookie now over 1,100 yards receiving, 10 touchdowns receiving. In the Super Bowl era, he joins Odell Beckham Jr., Jamar Chase, and Randy Moss as the only other rookie wide receivers to go for over 1,100 yards and 10 or more touchdowns in their rookie season. Absolutely incredible. Every week here on the 5th quarter, we do give you a play of the game. That play of the game is brought to you by our friends at Performance Painting. RJ, let's do it now. The Performance Painting play of the game.
Now, the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
And Leon, I think that just speaks volumes again. The touchdown for Brian Thomas Jr. Now in that rarefied air. Moss, Beckham, Chase. Rookie wide receivers, 1,100 plus yards, 10 or more touchdowns.
That's gold jacket stuff you talking right there, baby.
Good stuff, man.
That's gold. Them guys that you mentioned, the Beckhams, the Randy Mosses, and Chases, those are gold jackets.
23rd pick in the draft. Did people just miss on Brian Thomas Jr.?
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like when we missed on Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. I mean, now let's not get too lofty. Let's hope. But he's certainly on that trajectory, right?
Absolutely.
By the way, 1,100 yards, 10 or more touchdowns in the rookie year. You know who I didn't mention? Was Justin Jefferson, because he's not on that list. Jamar Chase, Odell Beckham, Randy Moss, and Brian Thomas are on that list.
Okay, all right. But he's still got some ways to go there.
He's got a ways to go.
But
it's wild to think about what could be.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with loving on him right now. But he's going in the right trajectory.
641-1010 is the phone number if you want to get involved here on the 5th quarter. Again, live at Hurricane Grill and Wings in San Marco. 1615 Hendricks Avenue is our location for the 5th quarter tonight, right up against Hendricks Avenue. We're on the back patio here at Hurricanes. Terrific food, TVs everywhere, friendly wait staff. We certainly appreciate Hurricanes for having us out. Come on out and join us here until 8 o'clock tonight for the 5th quarter. Quickly, before we go back to the phone lines, your former teammate, Fred Taylor, for the second year in a row, announced as one of the 15 finalists for enshrinement into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We knew how big it was last year to get into the room. That's what we always talk about. To get from the semifinal list to the final list means that Fred was in the room last year and was discussed. Did not make it. Now he gets back in that room as a finalist for year number 2. I know how important. There you go. There's somebody honking at us. I know how important that is for all of us here in Jacksonville, but primarily a guy like you who was a teammate of Fred Taylor.
Because I'm partial and I'm biased. Because I blocked for the guy, and I know how outstanding a player he was. I know how special it was from day one, 1998, when he came in this rookie year. The first time we had a scrimmage inside the stadium against our defense, and we're on the 20-yard line, and we run the 36 zone, and he takes it right, left, and he takes it to the house, outruns the linebackers, the cornerbacks, and the safeties. Yeah. And me and Big Bo looked at each other and said, we got us one. And that was the first. I mean, listen, that's what happened. I mean, the guy, I really want him to go in the hall. And for me, you know what? It brings back fond memories of what Freddie T was all about. You know, Freddie T was a consummate professional. Loved the game. Didn't say much. That's why I see him now on the pivot talking all the time. I'm like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
But I'm glad that, his career, he's doing well, but he's got to go in the Hall. I want to be there. I want to be there when they go in the Hall. Like it was special to me when Baselli went there. I want to be there, and you have a more fond of appreciation of greatness when you retire. I mean, I was in the locker room with some great ones, and you can't appreciate how great they are until once you look back 10, 20 years and say, man, I played with those guys.
And I'm biased, too, when it comes to Fred Taylor. Obviously, he was a pretty good player in Gainesville. But one of the all-time good dudes, right? Fred Taylor was just a good dude.
He was.
You hear Fred talking, on the post-game show, and you hear him on the pivot, and you kind of get a sense of who. And that's who Fred is. He's just a good guy, and he deserves this.
He's authentic.
Hey, very much so. Very much so. I don't have a bad thing to say about Fred Taylor. Always has time for people, never blows people off, and always is friendly and, talk with fans and whatnot. Why do you think, I think I know the answer to this, I'm going to ask you it anyway. Why do you think Freddie T's career is not as appreciated as much outside of Jacksonville as it should be?
Well, this is from the pundits. They, maybe the one Pro Bowl, maybe the city of Jacksonville. That's the only thing I can think of. Everything else, man, listen, I tell you what. If you want to get some loving on Freddie T, just ask the guys who played against him.
Ask the former players. That's right. Yep.
Ask the former players that played against him. Listen, I remember when I went to the Ravens. I went to the Ravens that one year, right? So I'm at the bar, and I'm at the bar with Eric Dixon. I said, it's pretty cool. Eric Dixon, I got to buy him a drink. But then the DBs had their DB party up there. So I went to the DB party, and they said, man, there's two guys on your team you scared to death of. I said, who? I said Jimmy Smith and Fred Taylor. I mean, and every guy, they had the DB party. Every DB from the Ravens who had just come off a Super Bowl championship, because I was there in 2-1, every one of those DBs said those two names. It was two guys that scared us to death, Jimmy Smith and Fred Taylor. So when you get that kind of accolades or that kind of admiration from guys you played against, that means a lot.
641-1010 is the phone number, 641-1010. If you want to get involved in the fifth quarter tonight, you are more than welcome to do so. 641-1010, live from Hurricanes in San Marco. All right, the Jaguars, 4 wins on the year, their second win over the Tennessee Titans. Let's talk about Trent Baalke. Let's talk about Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson pressed Taylor today. What did you think of the game plan? Obviously, they probably had to pivot a little bit because of the weather. But I thought, look, the game plan was good. They got Brian Thomas Jr. involved, right? We've been screaming to get BTJ involved, and they did that today, and they did that early in the game.
Yeah, they absolutely did. When you got a game like this, when it's rain and it's cold and that kind of stuff, you want to take care of the football first and foremost. You want to take care of the football. You want to run the ball. I thought we ran the ball effectively when we needed to. Not as efficient as I like to see us to run it, but I think Mac Jones played a good game. I think he was serviceable. He didn't turn the ball over. He took his shots when necessary. He didn't press at any time. He threw the wide open guys. He got the ball to BTJ early. I like the end arounds that they call and got him the ball. Yeah, I mean if you look at it offensively, I mean. There was no real pressure on Mac Jones. I mean, the Titans did blitz a couple of times. Now, they got 2 sacks on us now. But I think the offensive line held up pretty good, considering, the left tackle especially. Van Lan.
Yeah.
I thought he played well, against your guy who built the Buckman.
Oh, Arden Key.
Yeah. He's
responsible
he
for
just
what
did so much
is.
here in Jacksonville. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I thought it was against a bad team. We had a good plan.
Anton Harrison, a guy that plays your position, right tackle, there was a couple of games there where he struggled a little bit. Mm-hmm. But again, as I told you back in hour one, I didn't notice 77 at all today.
No.
And to me, to the untrained eye, if I don't notice an offensive lineman, that means you're not getting beat for sacks and you're not getting penalties. And I thought Anton Harrison, from that standpoint, was very good.
He did. He's playing well. He struggled down the stretch the last couple of games, whatever. I was kind of hard on him because I'm a particular, especially at that position, because I played it. So I'm gonna be very.
Well, you are the right tackle here in Jacksonville.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be harsh, in my assessment of how you played it. But he played well today. I thought he played well today. He was good. He transitioned out of the stands, good punches, good assists, came off the ball, was kind of physical all coming off the football. So I think altogether he played a great game.
Let's go to the south side here on the fifth quarter on 1010XL. Let's get Dean on 1010XL. Dean, how you doing?
Yeah, I'd like just to reiterate your Fred Taylor story. I saw him twice down at the Times Union for an induction into the Florida Hall of Fame, and up in Atlanta at the Legends Luncheon for the SEC championship game. He was very personable, very talkative, and just a real good guy. And I hope he gets into the Hall of Fame because he's just a number one class guy.
All right, Dean, appreciate it. Absolutely. And, the Fred Taylor thing, obviously it was such a wall that came down when Baselli got in. Finally Jacksonville gets some recognition. Mm-hmm. And now here we are again on the ballot in the finals room for Fred Taylor. He is the only running back, I believe, that is of the 15 finalists. Now, there's some really good players on there, right? Mm-hmm. Some really, really good players. Eli Manning's going to definitely get in. Suggs. Antonio Gates didn't get in last year, which I was stunned by. Mm-hmm. He's on the ballot again. But the fact that Freddie T is the only running back is certainly not a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's not a bad thing. Like I said again, I'm biased. I mean, all those guys are outstanding professionals that are on the foul list, but Freddie T was special, man. I mean, he was a special running back. He really was. Those jump cuts, his being able to jump cut, they hit the ground and accelerate right after the run. Mm-hmm. Man, you don't see that every day. I mean, his vision, his toughness. A lot of people got on Freddie for being hurt, man. A lot of times he played hurt. I mean, he could have took a game or two off or whatever, but he played hurt mass majority of the time. So
the interesting thing too, people think the running game's kind of dead. People think maybe you spend a lot of money on the running back position. Look at Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry this year.
Yes,
big free agent acquisitions for two new teams. Saquon Barkley just went over $2,000 today in Philadelphia. And Derrick Henry has been all world for the Baltimore Ravens. So maybe the running game is not as dead as people thought.
No, especially when you get in the playoffs. You can't be one-dimensional in the playoffs. You got to be able to run the ball. You got to be able to keep teams on their toes, or they're just going to come after you. So those teams that are able to run. See, we get all excited. I'm telling you what happens. When the regular season happens, we get all excited with the high wire acts and the balls flying everywhere. But then when it comes down to crunch time in the playoffs, the teams that can run the ball is the ones that are going to last.
Let's go to Marietta. Let's get Wade in here on 1010XL. Wade, what's going on?
All right. Let me say something. I think, Leon, you should be in the Hall of Fame myself. You and Basilio both were the best players on that line back in the days.
I appreciate that.
I'm a Falcon fan, but I'm a Jags fan. When me and Hacker had some fun times in the early 2000s over at that played Bugsy's over there for the draft party, but I'm glad he won today. They deserve to win it, and they probably beat the Colts because the Colts, I think they're going to mail it in. But we got the biggest game of the year for Atlanta. If they don't beat Washington, it's over.
Wade, appreciate the phone call. Wade's old school sports radio, way back in the day, diehard Atlanta fan. That's a big game tonight. Atlanta, Washington.
It is. I mean, Tampa Bay's going to be watching that game for sure.
Tampa Bay's going to absolutely. How about Baker Mayfield today? 5 touchdowns for Baker Mayfield.
Good for him.
You want to talk about winning some fantasy championships for people? Baker Mayfield won some fantasy championships for people today.
I'm sure he did.
And you know what I was watching I was watching Baker Mayfield, and I saw Mike Evans do his thing, and what's going on in my mind the entire time is that Buccaneer offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen. Everybody's talking about Ben Johnson for Detroit, and that would be great. Don't get me wrong. But I really like what Tampa Bay has done with that running game, what Tampa Bay has done with Baker Mayfield's resurgence, and I really like everything about Liam Cohen. I would not be upset at all if Liam Cohen was firmly in the mix for potentially the next head coaching spot here in Jacksonville.
Okay. I don't know much about him. He's doing that well. What are the Bucs' numbers? I'm sure that they've gone up this season.
Well, it's been a running back by committee for the large part, but they've done really well. Bucky Irving, Rashad White, you look at what Baker Mayfield's done this year.
Okay.
Liam Cohen is from the McVay tree. He spent a year in the SEC, I believe, at Kentucky.
Okay.
And then he came back into Tampa Bay as the offensive coordinator. And keep in mind, You know, Todd Bowles is a defensive guy. He's going to keep his hands off the offense. So it's Liam Cohen's baby down there in Tampa, and you see what Mayfield and the offense is doing. It's pretty spectacular.
It is, absolutely.
So that's just somebody to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Just somebody to keep in mind.
They are fourth in points per game this year, 29.7. That was before today.
Yeah, craziness. Absolute craziness. Let's get one more in here as we just hit the 7 o'clock hour. Again, if you're on the line, we'll get to you. We're with you for another 30 to 40 minutes or so. Let's go to the south side. Let's get J. Paul in here on 1010XL. J. Paul, what's going on?
Hey, guys. How's it going? I want to give a big old Duval shout-out to everybody who sat out in the rain with us today for the last home game of the season. That was pretty cool. I'm really proud that we kept Ridley from doing not a whole lot today. That was pretty cool. I'm very glad that we kept him from doing a whole lot today. We kept the turnovers down. Everything was an N+. I'm really glad that everything looked good. You know, Wingard was out there again killing it 2 weeks in a row. So shout out to Wingard. I'm going to give him a big shout out for defense. And, you know, Cisco was out there doing a lot of plays today. So, I mean, it was cool, but I'm also very sad because next year is our last real season at home at the bank, guys. And my family brought it up while we were out there tailgating, and I'm like, man, this is a very, very bittersweet situation. Even though we're not doing too great, you know, we don't have too many games left home at the bank until we get our new bank. So I'm excited for that. I appreciate you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Happy New Year. Love you guys.
Hey, J. Paul, appreciate the phone call. Yes, that's true, but keep in mind, full home slate next year, right? Mm-hmm. Then they're going to have limited capacity in 26. Then they're gone in 27. But think about what's ahead in 28 with that stadium of the future. I mean, maybe bittersweet, but when you think about what's coming down the line, you should be smiling about it, not be upset about it.
I agree. And we all seen the pictures.
Oh, man.
It's going to be a beaut.
Well, and the best thing about it is soon you're going to see some dirt. And you're going to see some cranes. And you're going to see some steel. And there's actually going to be things going on down there. I'm not exactly sure when all that starts. I don't want to speak out of turn here. Probably some of it's going to start, I would think, sooner rather than later. I mean, I know it's a full year next year that they're at home, no limited capacity. But obviously that's going to pick up here as the months go by.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought next year there was going to be limited capacity. They were going to work with the upper part.
No, that's to my knowledge, next year's fine. 26 limited capacity. Okay, 27 they're going to leave to go somewhere else. Then 28 is the scheduled opening.
Well, we got a few years left then.
A few years.
Yeah, but 28, we're going to have a shiny new building.
Hopefully next year they're not playing for draft positioning in the month of December down at Everbank Stadium like they were today. But it's a win. It's the third win in the AFC South. Again, the Jaguars at least are 500 in the division. They're 3-2 in the division. They could sweep the Titans and potentially sweep the Colts if they win next week. All right, we'll come back, give you a drive of the game with Leon Searcy, the hacker Ryan Green with you on the Window World of Northeast Florida. Fifth quarter, we are presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings. Again, speaking of Hurricane Grill and Wings, we're live in the San Marco location, Hendricks Avenue, 1615 Hendricks Avenue. This was almost a home game for me. Right down San Jose Boulevard, right down Hendricks, turn into Hurricanes. We're in the patio area outside, right against Hendricks Avenue. Absolutely spectacular. Come on out and join us. We're with you until 8 o'clock tonight. More to do as we celebrate a Jaguar victory. The fifth quarter rolls on. 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
This is the flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach. Join the 1010XL Podcast Network.
Okay, excellent show, everyone.
Now you can find all your favorite 1010XL podcasts in your platform of choice.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carlyon for MyBookie. While other books make promises, MyBookie delivers. This holiday season, they're stacking the deck in your favor with 12 days of Christmas now through the 31st, a festive lineup of can't-miss opportunities for bettors to cash in, risk-free Thursdays, super boosts, and free bets. Weekly casino giveaways with hundreds of winners and thousands in cash prizes. All it takes is a 50-cent spin on BetSoft slots to enter. With the road to New Orleans, bowl games galore, and a Christmas Day sports feast featuring NFL action and an NBA doubleheader, this is your season to win. The 12 Days of Christmas event is live right now. Lock in today. Use my code 1010XL with your first deposit, and MyBookie will give you a little extra to start your holiday hot. MyBookie is offering a 50% deposit bonus for 1010XL listeners. Just sign up and use promo code 1010XL. There's a reason MyBookie has been the go-to for serious bettors for 10 years. Make your holiday season a jolly one with MyBookie.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
Making a difference in our community for 2025? Paul Martinez here, President and CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida. The Boys and Girls Clubs offers a safe environment to youth every day with homework assistance, a hot meal, career readiness, and character and leadership programs. 57% of club alumni say the Boys and Girls Club saved their lives. Help us grow our outreach as we serve the kids in our community throughout our 59 clubs. Go to bgcnf.org to donate and learn more.
Homeowners, listen up. Did you know that 9 out of 10 borrowers get a better deal by calling Loan Pronto? Hey, it's Prosser here, and the Fed has dropped the rates again. The election is over, and Loan Pronto has APRs in the low 5s for refis, debt consolidation, and purchase loans. If your current mortgage rate is over 6%, or if you're in the process with another lender, don't settle. Call Loan Pronto now for a second opinion. Lock a lower rate today and close in as little as 2 weeks, often with no appraisal. And if you act now, you won't make your first payment till February. This 5-minute call saves homeowners an average of $5,000, lower rates and lower fees. So get your Loan Pronto rate quote instantly with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. It's Loan Pronto. Call them at 904-999-1508, or you can visit loanpronto.com. That's Loan Pronto at 904-999-1508, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Good teachers and coaches get the most out of their scholar athletes. That's why 1010XL salutes the Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
And the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
Wednesdays on The Frangie Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey. Here in North Florida, you know that when temperatures go up and your AC goes out, you need help now. Like right now. Like lickety-split. So why not call Lickety Split and get same-day emergency service for your AC? Now, I bet you've seen their trucks all over town because they've got dozens of certified technicians ready to repair not only your AC, but your home's plumbing and electrical too. So when you want it done right and you need it done right now, call Lickety Split AC Plumbing and Electric.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
For 79 years, each Gator Bowl game wrote a chapter in a story filled with excitement, celebrity, and a touch of drama. The game has seen iconic coaches like Bear Bryant, Vince Dooley, and of course, Bobby Bowden. Football stars like Larry Zonka, Archie and Peyton Manning, and Michael Vick. The 80th chapter features Duke and number 14 Ole Miss. Thursday, January 2nd in primetime on Bill Gay Grounds at Everbank Stadium. Tickets on sale now at TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com.
Hey, Jacksonville Koozies, it's me, Soccer Sam, for Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizza is now open in Jacksonville, Florida, Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. Daily $10 deals. Dine in with beer and wine and delivery at Salvatore's.com. The famous Formoso family brings Salvatore's Pizza, Rochester's favorite pizza, including our 32-piece sheet pizza for your next event. Go with me, baby. Salvatore's.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville, putting an extra 60 minutes on the clock. The window world of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter. Presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings on 1010XL.
Dropping the throw is Rudolph. Checks it to the middle of the field. It's picked off. It was tipped and picked off. Devin Lloyd with the interception. There's that takeaway. Boy, it's been a while. And they intercepted at the 43-yard line of the Tennessee Titans.
Frank Frangie on the call, Jaguars radio. I didn't realize this. You know, it was Devin Lloyd's first interception since he had those 3 picks his rookie year.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they said on the broadcast. I was like, really? And I'm going back thinking through the memory banks. I guess it is. That's wild.
It is wild.
They also called it the town of Mandarin in the broadcast. That was interesting. Now, again, I know that Spiro Adidas and Archuleta aren't familiar with Jacksonville, but I got a kick out of that. So I went on social media. I'm glad that I live in the town of Mandarin.
Town of Mandarin.
Did they show the landing again this time? Did they show that?
I didn't notice the landing this time. They do that a lot. They do. The landing's been defunct now for many, many years, but sometimes they do show that on the overhead shots. Back here on the fifth quarter on 1010XL, Hurricane Grill and Wings is our location in San Marco. Every week on the fifth quarter, we do give you a drive of the game. That drive of the game is brought to you by Randy Marion Cadillac. RJ, let's do it now. The Randy Marion Cadillac drive of the game.
Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac drive of the game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
Well, this was a no-brainer. 16 plays, 74 yards, 9 minutes and 11 seconds off the clock, culminating with the Brian Thomas Jr. touchdown to give the Jaguars a 20-10 lead. They would obviously go on to win the game 20-13. Mm-hmm. Leon Searcy, take me through a 16-play, 74-yard drive. That has got to be just butter for the offense and so demoralizing for a defense.
It absolutely is. It's a backbreaker with any defense, especially when you're methodically moving the ball up and down the field. Only thing that I hate that didn't happen, it wasn't hot. Because when I used to go do those type of drives against teams, defensive players want to tap out. And I used to get on for tapping out.
Yeah.
I used to tap out, want to get some rest, and I would jaw on. I said, stay your big butt in here. What you tapping out for? Yeah, those 16-play drives, you love it, especially if you're an offensive player. You're converting on third downs, you're getting first downs, you're running the ball, you're passing the ball, you're protecting, you're doing a lot of things right. And then to culminate it with a touchdown, don't get any better with
on
that.
Drives like that, around the 7, 8, 9 play mark, do you know you got them? Do you know you got the defense?
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of huffing and puffing going on. And if you do 16-play drive and you score a touchdown, it's demoralizing to any defense. It has to go through that and then still give up a score.
Well, that drive was a big, big reason why the Jaguars got the victory today, 20-13 over the Tennessee Titans. We're with you for another 25 minutes or so. If you want to get in, there is room for you. 641-1010 here on the fifth quarter, live from Hurricane Grill and Wings in San Marco. Let's go to the south side. Let's get Gary in here on 1010XL. Gary, what's going on?
Happy New Year, Hack Leon. Many best regards for the New Year.
Thanks, Gary. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, Hack, I'm 50 pounds now, baby.
Oh, good for you.
I lost 50.
Good for you, pal.
Yeah, even without, weight loss 180, whatever it's called. Hey guys, what a day I had, Hack. The Magic were a 20-4 run to end the game, and my Dolphins still alive in the playoffs despite everything. They win, and the Broncos, they get the last position. But my question is about the Jags, guys. Do you think Sean will revisit the EVP thing that he was talking about after last year? Is Trent going to be able to wiggle out of that again? And the other thing is, it's got to be so damning when you look at Sam Darnold, who was cast off by 2 different teams, having the success that Kevin O'Connell's had with him, and Doug Peterson's supposed to be the quarterback whisperer. That is the most damning thing about Peterson. That's why he's got to go with Balky, and I'll hang up and listen, guys.
Gary, appreciate it. What is your whole take on the EVP thing, to have a guy in between the general manager and the owner? Because that's a big topic of conversation here.
Mm-hmm. But who are you thinking about hiring?
Why, that's the point. I mean, obviously, getting ambitious.
Somebody that knows football. Let's get somebody that knows exactly football.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if you're going to have somebody like that, I mean, Big Bo.
Yeah, I mean that's the one everybody goes to.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, so you got someone who's already vested. You got somebody who's got his name on the building. All right, you got a gold jacket. He loves the Jaguars, and he knows football.
I don't necessarily know if you need somebody like that, though. I mean, I people say, well, Trent Baalke is, you know, too close to Shad Khan. That's why you need that middleman so that this doesn't happen again. And I don't know whether that's true or not. I just think people remember Coughlin in 17 and the run that they made because he was the EVP when Doug Marrone was here and Dave Caldwell. And people like that success. Well, they didn't need an EVP in 2022, right? Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke, it was the same formula, and you go to the playoffs that year.
But when Tom was here, we were a lot closer to the Super Bowl when Tom was here than when Doug came here the first year.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, they were 1 win away in 17. They were 2 wins away in 22.
And then, you know, you had players that Tom brought up the wrong way, was finding a lot of guys, and you had the NFL writing a letter telling free agents not to go to Jacksonville, so that whole thing spilled over. But I thought initially Coach Coughlin had good intent. You had someone who knows football, who cares about the team, wants to see the team win, and he made players uncomfortable, maybe to the point too uncomfortable. But, you know, I like this method initially, but if you get someone like that, that's why I say Big Bo. I mean, he's not TC. I mean, but he knows football, cares about the program, loves Jacksonville, wants to see them win, and I think he's passionate about it. So I thought, I put his hat in the ring. How about that?
If anything, we are certainly fair here on 1010XL and on the fifth quarter. And in the interest of fairness, I'm just going to bring this up in regards to Trent Baalke. Okay. Brian Thomas Jr., Mason Smith, Jarian Jones, Cam Little. Those are 4 rookies from this rookie class.
Hit.
All right. Then you go Ventrell Miller.
Another hit.
Then you go Trayvon Walker.
Yes.
Then you go Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Tyson Campbell. I mean, at a certain point, you start thinking, wow, that's a lot of draft picks. Trent Baalke.
A lot of starters on that list, too.
Yeah. Anton Harrison.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. I mean, is it fair to give Baalke credit for that?
And blame at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, what's your – because everything's anti-Baalke. I mean, somebody paid – somebody went into their pocket and took out money to purchase a banner on a plane today.
I saw that.
That flew over the stadium that said basically Shad, fire Trent for Jaguar fans or something along those lines. But you look at the guys I just rattled off that all were drafted by Trent Baalke, that all are pretty decent players, are they not?
Are they? Because if they were pretty decent, we wouldn't be sitting here at 4-12.
Fair. But again,
I mean, the names sound good, but the name sounds good, but the end product is 4-12.
Are you, as an 11-year guy, are you excited about Brian Thomas?
Absolutely.
Are you excited about Jarian Jones?
I am.
Mason Smith.
On losing teams, yes.
Cam Little.
On a losing team, yes.
Right. So at some point, there's a disconnect there.
Yeah, I know. No, you got all the starters, but the rate of return on the investment is 4-12.
Yeah, it is. And there's no arguing that.
And I think that's the reason why fans are so upset. That's why I always put it on the players. I never blame, and that's just the form. I always put it on the player. I never blame the coaches or the GM because you're paid to play at an elite level, at a very high level. And this team, for the most part, all those guys that you riddled off, don't play at that level all the time. You can't take any days off in the NFL because you'll get exposed. You got to play at an elite level week in and week out, and this team doesn't do that. Now, why is that? That's the question you have to ask. Why is it that this team doesn't play at an elite level week in and week out? Is it coaching? Is it play calling? Is it players? Maybe a combination of all three, I would think. But I always put the players first.
If Baalke and Peterson go to Shad this week or next, whenever they have that meeting and their future is going to be decided, and they say, hey, look at our record in 2022 and our record before the injuries last year.
Oh, that's coming up. You know it.
And is that fair? Is that a fair argument? Can the injuries be a crutch for them?
Well, I don't know if it's fair, but if you're on your last leg, you're going to use it.
But do you think that there is credence to that? I mean, is this team as bad as they are because of the injuries?
Are we talking last year or this year?
You could talk about both.
Both? Last year, that would be an excuse. I would think it would be an excuse for
Not this year. Although, like we said, Gabe Davis, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Trevor Lawrence only played 4 games together this year.
Yeah. And could they have made a difference in us being more than likely? Yeah. If those guys are healthy and we're playing decent, I think right now where we're at 16 games, we're at least those guys healthy. We're at least 7-9.
Yeah, 7-9, 6-10. That's what I would have said. And at 6-10, 7-9 is Balky and Peterson in trouble.
For the expectations of this team going into this year, there's a part of me who wants to say no.
And again, I think there's going to be change here. I think there's going to be significant change.
I think it should be change.
But I'm just simply throwing out there, you start rattling off the guys Balky drafted. You start talking about the injuries, which are legitimate. These guys have missed this much time. They're without Trevor Lawrence. They're without Kirk. They're without Davis. They're without Ingram. I mean, there is something to be said for that. And that's why the Jaguars are where they are right now.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you what, when they sit down with Shaw, that's going to be the excuse. That's going to be put on the table.
It absolutely will be.
Absolutely.
Now, will Shaw buy into that or not is the question.
Will Shaw give him one more go-around? Will he run it back?
I think it would be hard to justify to this fan base.
Yeah.
Maybe he feels like he doesn't need to, but if there's not significant change here, this fan base is going to be fuming.
Well, just think about where we were 6 weeks ago, when this team got demolished by Detroit.
I agree.
Remember how me and you came in here fuming mad? Someone's got to go. Both of us said it. Someone's got to go. Someone's got to be fired. There's no way you go and not get rid of somebody because of what happened.
They gave up 1/3 of a mile on defense.
I remember. And guess what? You can hear crickets.
Yeah.
And you can hear crickets throughout the whole week. Nothing was done.
We'll see what happens a week from tomorrow. Again, 1 game to go against the Indianapolis Colts.
We'll see.
We'll come back. We'll start previewing that game. One more segment of your phone calls. If you want to get in on the final segment, there is room for you. 641-1010. With Leon Searcy, the hacker Ryan Green with you. It is the window world of Northeast Florida. 5th quarter. We are presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings, and we're live. Hurricane Grill and Wings in San Marcos, 1615 Hendricks Avenue. Delicious food, televisions everywhere, friendly wait staff. Come on out and join us. We always appreciate Hurricanes in San Marco for having us out right here on the 5th quarter.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a professional stamp licker from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Martin Celery.
Oh, gosh. I can't wait to play, Bob.
Well, let's move things along. Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
Wait, but
That's right, Marty. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we've stocked up on the remaining inventory of low-cost 2024 model air conditioners. So you win. We're passing the savings on to you.
Can I answer a question first?
We need to make room for the 25s, so we're offering great deals on AC replacements while supplies last.
Could I spin the wheel at least? I've been practicing for a year.
With last-minute deals like this, there's no question that you are cool.
What do I tell my kids?
There you go. Have a souvenir t-shirt.
Thanks.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gate store anywhere around Duval and make yours a dandy. And do it today.
You scaled the sheer cliff face, battling frostbite, running low on oxygen. The wind pierced your skin, and every inch was agony. You reached heights no other human had before, while getting nowhere at airport security. There's more to imagine when you listen. Discover best-selling action titles on Audible.
Hey, Jaguars fans, as the official whiskey of the NFL, it's not a kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why we've built the Crown Royal Rig. An absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more, and please drink responsibly.
Hey, John, are you a small business owner looking to make the most of your investments?
Absolutely. And now is the time to take advantage of some incredible tax deductions.
You can qualify for a 2024 tax deduction for up to 60% of the purchase price of a brand new Cadillac.
Think Escalade, Lyriq, Optic, XT5, and XT6.
We have over 100 in stock at Rainy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville. It's the perfect time to upgrade your business fleet.
This is not tax advice. Consult with your tax advisor for further details and to determine eligibility, plus tax tag title $8.99 admin fee and resist all and approved credit.
It's the blog players put their pads on for.
So we got to bring my thoughts and observations on our home team. That's what I share with you every week on my blog.
Roland Reach Plumbing brings you Hayes Blog on 1010XL.com.
There's no way to prepare for the impact an accident makes on your life. That's why we've spent 40 years getting ready for that moment when you need compassion and immediate action. The right doctors, investigators, our team of experienced attorneys, and your free consultation is already in place. So if you've been hurt, remember, the Farah safety net is right here to catch you. All you have to do is call Farah & Farah. It's what we built. Jacksonville.
Hey gang, Prosser here. If you want to sell your home soon or immediately after the holidays, now is the time to get the process started and get your home sold fast, easy, and at top dollar, guaranteed with my agent, Chad and Sandy Newman. Perhaps you're worried about costly repairs. Maybe you need more space with a growing family. I don't care why you need to sell your home. I do know sometimes those problems can hold you back, but not with the promises of Chad and Sandy, the local real estate experts I trust and recommend. Chad and Sandy, you got this? Guarantee your home sold at agreed upon price and deadline or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. No long-term contracts. Christopher in Butler Beach on Anastasia said, I needed to sell my home and move somewhere smaller with less house to manage. It was unexpectedly very tough. My home had been listed with another agent for 388 days and failed to sell. I heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called amazingly multiple offers and sold in 3 days. Call Chad and Sandy today or visit them at chadandsandy.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Bringing you an extra quarter of football.
The window world of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter. Presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings on 1010XL.
Dropping the throw. Rudolph looking. Fires toward the goal line. That ball is going to be knocked away and incomplete. Antonio Johnson knocked it away from Nick Westbrook-Akine, and the Jags are going to win the game and sweep the Tennessee Titans.
Frank Frangie on the call, Jaguars radio. That was the game-ending play that Antonio Johnson made. Nice play by Antonio Johnson.
Nice play.
Nick, was it Westbrook-Akine or whoever it was? They were open on that play. Mm-hmm. Johnson's came in there and knocked it away to get the Jaguars the win, the sweep over the Tennessee Titans, the fourth win of the year for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Wrapping things up here on the fifth quarter. Every week here on the fifth quarter, we do give you an injury update. That injury update is brought to you by Farah & Farah. And RJ, let's do it now. The Farah & Farah injury update.
The personal injury attorneys of Farah & Farah present this injury update. Farah & Farah,
Jacksonville,
exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, Brandon Sheriff was the one that he kept leaving the game. There was an arm issue, I think. There was a one where he had blood all over his nose issue. He kept coming back in. We know Walker Little missed the game with an ankle. He's probably not going to play next week. Darnell Savage was in the protocol. Don't know if he'll come back for one game next week. We'll see. But you got to win today, and you really didn't get many people banged up, so it should be a lot of the same guys next week against Indianapolis.
Yeah, same guys that played this week going to probably play next week. And I tease about Brandon Sheriff. Listen, he's a wily old vet. I mean, he's seasoned. Right?
Yeah.
So those type of guys take a lot of pride in their work and their job and their position. Well, he may be, up in age with that, but he's not going to give up. He's the type of guy that's snarly. You saw what he was going to do against that Texans guy.
Yeah, Aziz Al-Shar. By the way, our friend Aziz gets to come back on the field next week. His 3-game suspension
really?
is over.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, but at this time of the year, I mean, everybody's banged up, bro. Everybody. I mean, you just if you're not in the playoff hunt, man, you just don't want to go in the off-season hurt.
Well, I'll tell you this. You talk about Aziz Al-Shar for the Texans. You mentioned it earlier. 4 wins for the Jaguars. Unfortunate the way it's gone down because this division, the Texans won this division by default because everybody else is just bad. The Texans are bad too.
Yeah.
I mean, they on Christmas.
The Ravens
31-2, and it really wasn't even that close. It was a demolishing at the hands of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Houston will have one home playoff game, and they'll be out the door. I can't imagine them winning that playoff game.
They'll be one and done. They'll absolutely be one and done. The Ravens came into their house and gave them a spanking. Oh, my goodness. And the Ravens showed them what an elite football team looks like. All this talk about going into the season with C.J. Stroud and what an amazing rookie season he had, and he was good. That's been silenced.
Sophomore slump for C.J. Stroud, or was the hype a little too much?
No, I think a little sophomore slump. I think that once everybody gets some film on you, then you've got to make the adjustments and not pick it, not because teams pick up on tendencies. When they don't have film on you, then you do whatever. But then when the next year comes around, teams pick on tendencies. So now you've got to do a better job of not showing them as much.
Yeah, well, we'll look and see. But Houston wins the division, but they were awful on Christmas. Indianapolis today, that is the Jaguars' opponent next week. Indianapolis would still be alive for the playoffs if they beat the lowly New York Giants. And the Giants get it done today. Drew Lock threw 4 touchdowns on that Colts defense. Shane Steichen is not on the hot seat yet in Indy. It's coming in year 3. That is a bad loss for the Colts today that officially eliminates them from the playoffs.
Yeah, that was a bad loss. And it was a bad loss with a team that's really that a lot of people thought that they were tanking to keep the number 1 pick in the draft, and they come away with this victory. But yeah, Steichen is going to be in a little bit of trouble. And then your boy Anthony.
Yeah, he didn't even play today.
He didn't even play today. So he's been on and off during the whole season, more off than on. So he's got to take credit for that as well.
You look around the rest of the NFL today and really all week. Interesting scenario. Boy, what a game yesterday between Denver and Cincinnati. Great game.
Great game.
Cincinnati wins to keep their playoff hopes alive. Miami is still alive as well because Cincinnati beat Denver. Now, all Denver has to do next week is beat Kansas City. And you say, well, Kansas City, they're going to reportedly rest a lot of their starters. They've already clinched the number 1 seed. Mahomes is not going to play. Kelsey's not going to play. They're going to rest a lot of their guys. So Denver, you would think, would have the inside track. If I'm Kansas City, that's exactly what I do. I want no part of having to play Burrow in Cincinnati in the playoffs.
And that's why they're doing it.
Yeah. I lay down. I let Denver beat me 50-0, whatever you want to do, because I do the AFC a favor and do not let Joe Burrow in the playoffs.
Yeah. That's why they're sitting on their guys, because, I mean, Cincinnati would have to have.
Cincinnati would need a Denver loss, and they would need to win.
Wow. KC is doing it right. No one wants to see Joe Burrow right now. The Cincinnati Bengals, they're a hot team. So they'd be ashamed that they'd be left out.
Now, those KC backups, Carson Wentz and the fellas, they're going to give it their all, you would think.
Yeah.
Quote, unquote, give it their all.
Yeah.
But look, Kansas City.
They make it look good. How about that?
Yeah. I mean, Joe Burrow, and I don't even know how to look this up. This is more an opinion statement than anything, I guess. But people are wondering if Joe Burrow has literally had the best season of anybody that's not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
you look at his numbers, it is wild how good he's been. And they're probably not going to make the playoffs.
You know what? I'm trying to think of a guy. And I might be wrong here. Someone's going to fix me. Was Jerry West on a bad Lakers team that he won MVP anyway?
Oh, well, that might be true. I was talking about the NFL.
Well, I was just thinking about Joe Burrow. I mean, Joe Burrow. No, everybody's talking about Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, rightfully so. But if you look at Joe Burrow's numbers, how can he not be in the MVP conversation?
I agree. Speaking of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, where would your MVP vote go between those two right now?
I would make it I'd make it co-champions.
You couldn't choose one?
Just like when Peyton Manning and Steve McNair. They were co-MVPs. I will give both of them. I mean, because you can make an argument for either one. And both have had outstanding years, and they're both on outstanding teams. I would just make it I'll make it Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson will be co-MVPs.
Who's more dangerous in the playoffs, Baltimore or Buffalo? Who's a bigger threat to Kansas City?
Neither, because they haven't beaten.
And somebody's got to go into Arrowhead.
Yes, neither one. They asked me who's the biggest threat. Neither one has beaten them.
I think
they both had opportunities, and neither one has beaten them.
I say it every year. At least I think I do. Man, it just seems like Buffalo this year.
But we said that last year. Remember Hack?
Yeah.
Buffalo
right.
Buffalo
had him at home last year, too.
And they still couldn't pull it off.
Josh Allen is playing out of his mind.
He is, absolutely. He's having a great year. He is.
And Baltimore has Derrick Henry now, which is something they did not have last year.
They do. Well, here's a cliff note for the Ravens. Try to run the ball more than 8 times this time in the championship game against the Chiefs. You remember that?
Yeah.
They gave the running backs had 8 carries, and Lamar had 4, and they were the number 1 rushing offense in the NFL. That was just bad for business.
The good thing for Kansas City is they're probably not going to have to play both. Because Buffalo's the 2. I think Baltimore is likely to be the 3. So Kansas City is not going to have to play both of them. They're only going to have to play one of them. Yeah. Now, they went through both of them last year. Didn't seem to be a problem.
And no problem with it.
All right, Leon, that'll just about do it, man. Big win for the Jags.
Yeah, big win. 1 game left, season's over.
Indianapolis next week.
Next week will be our last
fifth quarter.
Wow.
That'll be emotional.
It will be. I'll make sure that's here.
Thank you to Hurricane Grill and Wings in San Marco, 1615 Hendricks Avenue, for being our host tonight. We love Hurricanes out in San Marco. Andrew Gibson was your on-site engineer. Leon, we'll hear you tomorrow on XL Primetime. I'll be with you tomorrow night on Hacker After Dark. The Window World of Northeast Florida, 5th quarter. We have been presented by Von Rowan Law and, again, Hurricane Grill and Wings. Jacksonville, a winner, 20-13 over Tennessee. We'll have a Victory Monday on 1010XL beginning at 6 a.m. with Jeff Prosser, and we kick off 16 hours of local programming. So until 6 a.m., good night, Jacksonville.
When you want breaking sports news, tune in to 1010.